Hello. Hi. Hi. Welcome to Daily Mish. Daily Mish is a series that is all about living the life you love, served to you in 5-minute portions. So short and sweet. And for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Michelle. And I believe that anyone can be whatever they want as long as they set their mind to it. I was an accountant in banking turned professional artist, and I think if I can do it, you can do it too. So today I'd like to share with you a story, a very short story from a book that I've been reading, and I love this guy, so I really want to talk more about him. But this is the book Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek is a very well-known motivational speaker about starting with why, and his vision is for people one day, for people to one day go to work happy and inspired and happy doing whatever they're doing. And I love that vision of his, and this is a really good book which explains what true leadership is and why, as he says, true leaders eat last, and how true leaders should really behave. So the story that I really wanted to share with you is I find a very inspirational story about how this man, a CEO of a group of manufacturing companies, turned around a business that he recently bought, not by focusing on the numbers and cutting people, laying people off. He actually didn't lay anyone off, and by focusing on the existing people and actually practicing empathy and caring and listening to his employees. And I find that really inspiring, especially during these times when I know that many people and many companies at the moment are laying off a lot of people, and a lot of, some of my friends are finding themselves in a situation where they're about to lose a job, or even worse, they have to tell someone they're about to lose a job just because they are simply part of the number that didn't quite make the equation. And I find that, that's just really bad, and there must be a way around it, right? It can't be that life is just all about companies recruiting people and hiring and growing numbers, and then when things aren't good, then they just cut people off and then expect these people to find a life again and pick up themselves again. So anyway, that's a whole different topic altogether. So anyway, so this story, so I'm just going to read bits of it, which I find really interesting. So it talks about this factory that is not doing really well, and the CEO, Bob Chapman, has recently took over the South Carolina company. Chapman is CEO of Barry Ware Miller, a collection of predominantly manufacturing companies that Chapman has been steadily buying over the years. Now, most of the companies that Chapman bought were in distress. Their financials were weak, and in some cases their cultures were worse. Hazen Sandiaka was his latest acquisition. Other CEOs may have brought in with them a team of consultants and new strategy, ready to tell everyone what they had to do to return the company to profitability. Now, what Chapman did in stark contrast was the willingness to listen. As he did with every company he acquired, he started by sitting down to hear what the employees had to say. Ron Campbell, a 27-year veteran of the company, had just come back from his 3 months in Puerto Rico, where he had been responsible for installing Hazen Sandiaka's manufacturing equipment in a customer's plant. Sitting in a room with Chapman, Campbell was hesitant to talk about what life was like at the company. First of all, Campbell asked, "If I tell the truth, will I have a job tomorrow?" Chapman smiled. "If you have any trouble tomorrow about what you say today," he assured him, "you give me a call." So with that, Campbell started to open up. Well, Mr. Chapman, it seems like you trust me a lot more when you can't see me when I'm right here. I had more freedom when I was at a customer site than I do here, he said, referring to his time in Puerto Rico. As soon as I stepped into the plant, it's like my freedom just slipped away. It feels like someone has their thumb on me. I had to punch a time clock when I walked in, and again when I left for lunch, came back, and when I was done for the day. I didn't have to do that in Puerto Rico. Now, this was something Chapman hadn't heard before at other factories. I walk in the same door with engineers, accountants, and other people who work for the office. Campbell went on. They turn left to go to the office, and I go straight into the plant, and we are treated completely differently. You trust them to decide when to get a soda or a cup of coffee or take a break, but you make me wait for a bell. Others felt the same. It was like there were two different companies. No matter how much effort they put in, those who stood by the machines didn't feel like the company trusted them. Spare machine parts had always been kept inside a locked cage. If a worker needed a part, they would have to stand in line outside the cage and ask a parts employee to get what they wanted or needed. Workers were not allowed to go into the cage themselves. So Chapman took away all the locks. He took out all the payphones and made company phones available that any employee could use anytime. No coins needed, no permission required. Any employee would be allowed to walk through any door and visit any part of the company that they wanted. Chapman understood that to earn the trust of people, the leaders of an organization must first treat them like people. To earn trust, he must extend trust. He didn't believe that simply because someone went to college or was good at accounting made them more trustworthy than someone who had a GED and was good with their hands. Chapman believed in the fundamental goodness of people, and he was going to treat them as such. Now, so what do you think happened to this company? And after all the changes that Chapman made, I was initially cynical about, this must be too good to be true. It probably didn't really make a huge change. But actually, in the period since Chapman took over, Hayes and Sandiacre saw revenue increase from 55 million to 95 million, almost doubled, which reflected organic and acquisition growth. They grew without any debt and without the help of a management consultant-driven reorganization. The company grew because of the people who already worked there. They had renewed commitment to the organization, and it didn't come as a result of any promises of bonuses or threats. They were more committed because they wanted to be. A new culture of caring allowed the people and strategies to flourish. And coming to work for the company is replaced by coming to work for each other. Work is no longer a place to dread. It is a place to feel valued. Now, how amazing is that? I just thought, my heart was singing, I was smiling, I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if, the last place where I worked would have been like that, where I would not dread Mondays, where I would love the thought of waking up and being able to go to work and do whatever I want, and be trusted to do what I want, that I will deliver what is expected. So what's my point? My point is, I think a lot of us often feel really stuck in where we currently are, especially if you're working in a big corporation and you feel like you're not trusted, you can't trust your boss, you can't wait to get out and go and run, start an entrepreneurial life because you will get the freedom that you want. Well, it's not quite like that. And I think it is definitely possible to make that change starting wherever you are, whichever situation that you're in. And I believe that change can be as simple as starting to just care. Care for the person around you, care for the person in front of you, the person next to you, and truly care and see this person as a person and not just a number or your subordinate or someone who's not qualified, and take the 5 minutes each morning to make a conversation about how was your weekend, and genuinely caring about their weekend and not just asking for the sake of asking because you actually want something else from them. And I think if everyone started doing that, the world would just be a much happier place. And that's it for today from me. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do click like and share my video and tell me what you think. Do you have any other questions? Would love to hear from you. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.